Welcome to Taking the Rams by the Horns, a podcast that takes current affairs out of current affairs. This is an award-winning podcast in partnership with Sowetan Live. I'm your host, Rams Mabot, and thank you for all of you who've been subscribing, who've been commenting. I'm starting to see movement. You're starting to get this thing right. I'm excited about that. Thank you very much. And so, another Sunday came, and this one was in form of what we now call a family meeting. Of course, this family meeting, Papa calls us all, but Papa speaks to us through Zoom. We can't engage with Papa. Papa speaks, then Papa leaves us to be fuming alone about what he just told us. And so, this past Sunday, Papa spoke again. And this time, he suspended a minister. He appointed a judicial commission of inquiry on all these allegations about the cops and all these things. He appointed an acting police minister who is not a cabinet minister as we speak, although he's a former cabinet, at least executive in Gauteng. And we'll talk about it as we go on. But of course, we are all left perplexed. I mean, I've been on social media. Everybody wanted more. We wanted him to walk in there and say, "You're all fired. In fact, all sit down. I'll run this thing alone," or whatever, And I thought, let me bring somebody who can help me understand. Also because this fellow, on Twitter on Sunday, he says he likes the new acting minister. We'll talk about it later. So my friend, former Premier of Gauteng, an amazing author who causes trouble on News 24 every Tuesday, stuff like that. Mbhazima Shilowa is here to talk to me about this thing. Ndunangul, good to see you again.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity.
But why were we... I'm like a lot of people who feel like, why? I felt like nothing came out. He should have said nothing. Maybe Senzo Mchunu got to be sent home to sit for 9 months and earn his money. But other than that...
Yeah. No, I think that people are right to be apprehensive, some to be angry, because I think in our mind, we want a president who kicks butt.
Yeah.
So we wanted him to come in there and say, look, I've listened to what Mkhwanazi have said. I've spoken to everybody else. This is my decision. But it's not just his calculative. Tomorrow, someone goes to court and say, how did you arrive at this decision?
Mm-hmm.
He would be in trouble. So even though we don't like commissions, and I'm one of the people who says, not
another commission. Right.
But I think the reason why we don't want another commission is not because we don't understand that he has to go through a judicial commission. It's because we're thinking, but what about the Falam Commission? What about the Zondo Commission?
In fact, before I got here, right,
yes.
I went through a few since 1995.
Yeah.
Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Yes.
The NEL Commission. Mwepe Commission.
Yes.
The inquiry into human rights,
Yes.
farming communities. The Jali
Yes.
Commission. In fact, if I look at them, they at least the Jinwala inquiry got a scalp, even though it was wrongful, right?
Yes.
I don't know why they should have done that to, Piccoli. But
yeah. No. So there are. So it's the only way you can do it as the president.
Yeah.
In a democratic country, of which we like. But I think we don't like it because we say we have yet to see the results of this. And I think it's in part in the terms of reference. And if I look at the current terms of reference, it seems to me he has taken to heart some of the complaints, because he says, in this instance, in 3 months, you give me a report. It says also you are allowed to indicate who should be suspended and deal with the suspensions at that time. So people say, but it should be him. He has got no powers to do those suspensions.
He's not Trump.
But he can say
he can sign presidential orders.
He can say to Masimula, if Masimula is not the one implicated, he must go.
Yeah.
If it's Masimula, unfortunately, which is another thing which I think he has slid it in there, it also acts, in my view, as a board of inquiry. In that if it's Masimula, because he's the police commissioner, even the president can't fire. You have to go through a particular process. That process will be catered for. And finally, he says also, the report will come to him, it will go to Parliament, and it will go to the Chief Justice.
Yes.
Which means, there are more than 3 arms that have the right to be able to implement that which requires them in there.
If Papa had invited us in the room as his children, I would not be having you here. I would have asked him these questions and said, but what do you mean? So now we have to call you to explain these things to us. And we are angry at this moment because we're thinking we didn't understand what's going on here.
We have to be. I mean, even I am angry. Even I don't understand. But, I'm assuming, I come from Limpopo.
Yeah.
So there, you can throw bones. And based on that, say, this is what he's saying.
Well, apparently somebody threw bones and it happened, right? He said Senzo's going to go. Somebody from KZN, Nogal.
Yes. But you see, where I think people are right, Cyril should not have used the issue of Mkhwanazi as reason to suspend
Senzo.
No. He should have said, look, I've asked him to step down because of what had happened in Parliament. But if he did that, he must also deal with bubblegum.
Yeah.
So, and I get a sense that they will deal with her sooner. But he didn't want to muddy the things. Because if you say, I'm firing him for that, people will say, but...
but also even that one needs process, right? Parliamentary processes have to kick in,
yes.
Stuff like that. I mean, that's how Tony was dealt with.
Yes,
right?
Parliamentary process have to kick it in, but sometimes it doesn't have to. And this is the problem in South Africa. In Europe or in Japan, a minister goes, people say, they've seen him at a clubbing and all of that, and they think it was wrong and all of that. He would say they are lying, but, because he's bringing the government into disrepute, I'm going to resign.
Yes.
Here, you can't resign. In any case, even our man that you call Papa, I don't like Papa because I don't know if you mean Deepa, Papa, and all of those.
Well,
but
and it's not from Malawi.
Yes, but if you're talking about the buffalo, remember he once said, I'm out of here when the Pala thing started. But then Gwede and others went to him to say, you're going nowhere. Yeah. We will see how we handle this matter, So I guess if he didn't walk, it's difficult to get someone to walk.
Anybody else to walk,
who has not been charged, which is where I think maybe the commission is a correct thing. If Mkhwanazi had laid charges or someone had laid charges, the guy would have to walk, both in terms of people who are in government. Once they are charged, they step down.
Yeah.
And I know we sometimes say no. This is the first time. It happened with Zweli Mkhize.
Yeah.
He was also asked to
Zizi Kodwa.
Yeah, except with this one, it was again a leave of absence.
Yes.
Whereas Zizi stepped down.
Yeah.
And then he got cleared. And now he's not even a backbencher, so you now have to say, what do you do with those? And finally, the reason why I think you need a commission, what is that commission that Thabo Mbeki had on the it's Heifer Commission.
The Heifer Commission.
Now
the one with
yes.
With Mek Maharaj
and Mo Sheikh.
Yeah.
Now people say you don't need a commission of inquiry. You have to take Mkhwanazi's word. We could have taken Maharaj's word, former minister.
Yeah.
We could have taken
and Muga would have been a spy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who would have been a spy. But it had to go through the commission and then do it. So we need to find a way to balance. We can blame the guy, He could have acted using a different process, but to an extent that he was not going to do it, he had to go the commissioner inquiry.
In one line. So he's not kicking to touch here.
He is not kicking to touch. He appears to be kicking to touch, but there is no other way in a democracy that you can simply wake up. He can fire the minister. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
But if you say you fire him because of what Mkhwanazi have said, he has a right to say no, but the guy is lying.
And I have not been tried.
Yes.
There's no proof of this.
You know.
Yeah.
So if he simply said, look, not based on what the fellow has said, I've decided I'm going to reshuffle my cabinet and do this, that he can do.
Yeah.
But if you're going to act on the basis
But that would have made people happy. I mean, if he came to us on Sunday and said, I'm reshuffling, bubblegum is gone, Senzo's gone.
Yes, but then he couldn't have said then, and therefore I'm also going to establish a commission of inquiry.
Yes. For me, I'm saying he acted like Nhlanhla.
And for
Fine,
me,
I should say that because he appointed Judge Nhlanhla.
And for me, the most important thing is not so much what happens to Mchunu. For me, the most important thing is that here we are. This commission, if it is done properly, it's the first time you're going to be looking at the metros in Gauteng,
Yeah.
Ekurhuleni,
Yeah.
Johannesburg, and Tshwane. You're going to look at them. It's going to look at policing in Gauteng.
Yes.
And then, of course, it's going to look at the NPA. It's going to look at the judiciary. It's going to look at the police. It's going to look at correctional services. So it's a comprehensive one. And if done properly, it will give us results. But those results may happen and it be implemented maybe once Phala Phala is on the at the departure lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I it's not about the man, but by the way, I did not know, and it's careless of me, who the Deputy Chief Justice was until yesterday.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is Justice Nhlanhla the man for this thing? I mean, I'll tell you this much. I mean, I thought there could have been only one man to be given this task.
Yeah.
Right? A man who's proven how to follow a matter of interest to the last, even if it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Judge President Menenge would have been the man for this. Like, I can't think of anybody else.
I know, but except, his kind of details, I don't think as something would have been around. In fact, I did think he was going to do a commission of inquiry. I didn't think of Nhlanhla.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go with Mseneke.
Well, Mseneke would have just had, what is that one? Life SCT, maybe he's giving him a rest. I mean, Nhlanhla is actually acting Deputy Chief Justice. He's about to retire.
Yes.
And now he gets this ugly task. I mean,
Yes.
I'm thinking for him, hey, man.
But I think he's a good guy.
But I think for him also it gives him prominence. At least we're going to know him. Because I think I'm not the only one who did not know. And I'm sure you say he's a good guy, and he has to be a good guy to be there.
No. He's a very good guy. I mean, if you look at some of the judgments that he has made, even when he has dissented, you can see that, look, it's reasoned. He just lost an argument to his own peers. So I think he's likely to follow due process. And I think those guys who are going to go there, either to put forward information that they have and or to respond to those, are likely to get a good deal of fairness. Whether it will be good deal in terms of how tough he may or may not be with them, I don't know.
If all else fails, Judge Nhlanhla, speak to JP Mbeneng. He will help you follow through on the matters. He knows how to. So, and then you post that Firoz Kachalia is the right man.
Yes.
There is an unspoken thing, axiom in the ANC, that everybody needs their own Indian.
Yes.
Mandela had these guys who were in Kohino and stuff. There were the Pahad brothers with Mbeki. There were the guys who still are in exile in Dubai with JZ.
Yeah.
Is this Cyril's own Indian?
No. It's not his own Indian. Well, let me put it differently. To to an extent that Feroz was in the Acton Action Committee, was in the student movement, was with us in the SACP, both underground and after, and was part of the establishment of the ANC, the SACP, and then served as the speaker in the legislature after Trevor. He's a very good Indian in that sense. The reason why I said, it's a good person. For me, a good person is not so much that he's a stickler for details. When I was a premier, you tend to want to take shortcuts.
Yes.
First, when he was the speaker, he would say to me, you can't do this, you can't do that, but you can do it this way. Because
he would give you tools.
Because he was leader of government business.
Yes.
And also, when he was the MEC for public safety, he's one of the people, most of what you see today, there being even a provincial safety cars and all of that, he started that. We went back to look at the Constitution and say what is possible, what is not possible. He's one of the people who do believe in the devolution of policing powers, even to the metros.
Yeah.
But I think it's better that we clean it up, and I'm hoping he'll be a better person to help clean it up, before we give them more powers. And finally, in my view, he's incorrigible.
But we have two deputy ministers. Well, I know deputy ministers can't act as ministers, which always beggars this thought. Why do we have them in the first place? But also, he could have appointed any other minister to be acting, even Bubblegum.
You need another minister.
Yes.
To act.
A sworn minister. Yes.
You need a sworn minister. Yeah. Remember, most of those deputies, I'm saying most of them.
Yeah.
And I'm biased, except maybe Puti and David Masondo. Most of those ministers are really there because you have to accommodate almost everybody.
Yes.
You have to accommodate almost everybody. But you really, they've not been assigned any specific roles. But also, I think if he had gone with, say, Matali.
Yes.
I know how people...
First, we would have had to ask him to take off the head, right? That head is in disrepute.
Yes.
We don't like it anymore.
But I also know how people behave.
Yeah.
We all know this is the on-point man. We're not saying anything.
Yes.
Appoint him minister. We will be in court
the next day
to say this guy is the one that bankrupted all of those. So he had to look for a safe pair of hands. And that's why I thought...
this safe pair of hands now.
And the funny thing, or the good thing, one of his most sworn enemies when he was in the legislature is Peter Leon.
Oh.
Peter Leon responded to my ex and said, I agree with you. The man is uncorruptible.
And that's important, right? But
Very
now
important.
Everybody, the EFF, everybody says no, but we can't be having a guy who's not a sitting MP and Nochal not even in cabinet. Now he's going to come in as acting minister. Look, anything coming from, what's this fellow from MK?
Mzwanele?
No.
Nhlanhla.
Anything coming from him, I take with a pinch of salt, or any white powder for that matter. I'm not too particular.
Then you shouldn't be taking it.
But people are now questioning this, and I'm worried for Prof that even before he leaves Wits University, everybody's like, but this guy can't come in.
Yes, and I think Mubikwa is to blame for this.
Yeah.
He gave a shorthand answer to say, so you say I'm here to explain.
Yeah.
Basically, he says, I'm going to appoint Feroz, but in the meantime, while he finishes there, and while Madlanga finishes on the other side, I will have someone who is currently in the cabinet to act. And I've got no doubt, once Feroz leaves that side, he's going to have Feroz sworn in.
Sworn in as an MP?
No, not as an MP.
Yeah.
Just sworn in as a minister.
Yeah, without portfolio.
Without portfolio.
Yeah.
Same way Mandela did with Jay.
Yeah.
Kgalema was brought in by Thabo Mbeki after Polokwane without portfolio.
Yeah.
And once he's there in, then that acting minister
leaves back to
will
their
now
position.
leave back to their position. The minister without portfolio in the presidency will now be the acting minister of police.
You know,
So, and I think people worry about that, but I can tell you now they're not going to act illegally. So that's how it's likely to happen. The real issue is this. Because he's in an acting capacity, what can he do? Because he doesn't know, will it be 3 months? Will it be 6 months? Will it be 9 months?
I expect it to be 9 months from what we were told yesterday. This commission will finish in 9 months. Right?
Will it be a year?
Yeah.
In that sense. So if Feroz spoke to me, I'll say to Feroz, work on the basis that you'll be there for a year. Why a year? Even if the report comes in after 9 months, there'll still be another 2 or 3 months for everybody to look at everything else. And it may be that Mchunu never comes back.
Yes.
And then he can become permanent. The issue is that because of the suspension and not booting him out, you're basically paying for 2 people.
You are.
So he can go farming.
But you're also sending somebody from KZN back to KZN just before the next ANC elections, and we know what happened in 2005, 2007, right?
Yes, except this fellow is on the same slate with the current one.
Well, the guy that just got buried last Saturday, at some point we thought he was on the slate with one guy and then came out on a different slate last minute,
Yes.
I mean, now we even told he was a churchgoer. I mean,
it's politics.
Yeah.
But except, if now that you're going that side, the funny thing is that, I mean, I don't know if my friend was just shooting breeze or not, but I saw Bantu smiling, and nobody has disputed what Gumere said, that no, look, it was not an overnight thing.
Yes.
That thing of Mr. Unity voted on, we met, Good Friday, wherever.
But people say good things about us when we did.
No, but what I'm saying, Scuttlebutt would surely have already come up and say, no, that guy is lying.
Yeah.
We never had a meeting. Bantu would have already have said the same thing.
Yeah.
The fact that they've not said anything must mean that, they too were in there. But more seriously, you're right. But I think he's going back there. I don't think he's going to go back there to work against the current guy.
Anyway, the ANC in KZN is dead. I mean, it's gone. It's gone.
Please, man, don't speak ill of my comrades. Have you heard of Mafavuka?
No. Mafavuka? Oh, yes. Well, I don't know. But anyway, let's not go there.
Yeah. So Feroz has his work cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, as we conclude, let's put the commission aside for a second.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Masemola is going to suspend Sibiya? But if he does, people are going to say, but there are charges pressed against Mkhwanazi. Are you going to suspend him too? I mean,
yes. No. What is going to happen is that if he acts against Sibiya and the information he's acting on can stand scrutiny, then it will be seen to have been a factional thing.
Yes.
But if he acts against him, and even if he was to go to court, the court would be able to say, based on the information at our disposal, this is how we're going to act. I don't think he's going to act against Mkhwanazi, because Mkhwanazi's press conference, if you ask me, would have been approved by Masemula.
And I suspect, therefore, Masemula's boss, who spoke on television in the Buffalo, but let me not go there.
I don't think his boss, because the boss would have been away. I know he says
that's
he was
a
surprised.
strategy.
No. The guy, I know he's always surprised, but I think this time he really did look surprised.
He was shocked.
It gets shocked even when there's no electricity. So,
Yeah.
it's a difficult. But for me, I don't think normal day-to-day work and disciplinary work must stop because there's a commission. Yes, you can go on a witch hunt. And if it's a witch hunt, the courts will turn it around.
Yeah.
So if I was Masemula and I want to act against this guy, I will act based on proper information. So if, for instance...
Getting hot here.
Yes. So if, for instance...
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I'm not sure if you're doing a merengue on me or not,
Take off the jacket.
Yes, that's the point.
No, I have to recognize class.
Yes, So, if he says, look, the guy lied and said, I have given instruction for the disbandment of the thing, and there's no information, there's no letter that I've signed, and all of that, it will be able to stand up in court. If he uses other things, insubordination in general, it won't stand up in court.
So, as we conclude,
yes,
everybody who's unhappy now, everybody who thinks that Mobikwa could have done better, everybody who thinks that everybody should be fired and maybe Mary DeHaas should run the country, they should relax. Everything is okay.
No, we shouldn't relax, because even as we wait for the commission, we must go back to him to say, but there are other dead wood. Yeah. In other words, that you have put this guy on pasture does not mean that he can't later, if information comes at hand, he can't say, no, I'll wait until the final report. If, for instance, the first 3 months, the report says no, he disbanded the Killings political task team without any talking to anybody and unprocedurally, you don't wait for the recommendation to say should have. You say it was suspension, now you are off here. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, I'm glad I brought you here, but I'm still walking away thinking, hey man, I don't know, we should have and could have done better. But of course, I understand we're a constitutional country. There are limits of what can be done and what cannot be done.
I know we wish we could be presidential, like happens in America.
Yeah.
Maybe happens in China or Russia. Yeah. But this is the path we chose.
Damn. But I'll tell you something about, I was looking at these commissions and something fell into place. Over the years, Johannesburg has been probably the most famous city that's been fighting to change names of streets. I mean, if you go into the city center, there's all changes of names and stuff. We're now trying to change a street name in Sentin to make the Americans unhappy. But one street has kept its name, Commissioner Street. Because we like commissions. We like commissions. So, as we conclude, once again, if you don't want to be bored by commissions, The Sweetest Taboo, still there, it's on the shelves. Buy this book, you'll be happy. Subscribe, follow, like, please. That's the only way this kind of content can work. Your support is very important. But thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much, Ndunangul.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
From me, Remus Mavote, goodbye and God bless.